Hello, fellas. Welcome back to another edition. Hey, Charles, welcome back. Hayo, welcome back. And this is another
Thank
edition
you.
of Talk Football Live. Oh, this week it is actually coming down. Most teams have three more games to go, except for a few teams that have one or two games in hand. Teams like Brighton, Man United, Man City. But I think actually the bottom four, everybody has three games to go. Guys,
Mhm.
it's looking like we might know the winner soon. But I think the relegation battle is actually unpredictable right now. Earlier, before we came online live, we were just talking about how Bournemouth crawled out of the relegation zone. Uh, I would be surprised personally if they made it through because back in December, as I was pointing out, these guys were, I think, 19th position. So, anyway, we're going to talk about that. But this weekend, there are games coming up. Arsenal is going to be facing Brighton. Brighton had a very terrible outing against Everton. That was a shock. I'm not sure anybody predicted that. Then we have Everton, same Everton that defeated Brighton going against City. I think those are two big games that everybody will be looking out to see whether there's going to be another movement that's a bit mouth-watering or like, okay, I think we don't know the winner yet. But we'll see. Personally, as an Arsenal fan, I'm hoping for a miracle. I've given up. I don't want to raise my hopes. But again, like they say in the world of soccer and football, right? Don't say it's over until it is
So
finally
it's
over.
over.
Having said that, Aya, if you wouldn't mind, can you bring up the fixtures and let's go through the fixtures for this weekend, starting with the Arsenal Brighton game. And Charles, I'm going to put this one straight to you. With what you saw, Brighton, Everton, and Arsenal, Newcastle. How do you think this game is going to go? Your analysis, your predictable, lineup, style of game. What should we expect? What should our viewers and fans and everybody across the globe watching us? What should they be? What should they be hoping based on your analysis and possibly injuries? I think you have the injuries update. So let's talk about that, Charles.
Mm.
Arsenal Brighton.
Reality, I was hoping you wouldn't.
Oh.
Oh no, both Arsenal need to win the league. Brighton, Europe. So three teams, they have a lot to fight for, and Arsenal's injury list does not help them. Saliba has been the main problem. He's been the one that has been out and to play as well as he's been, and hence why they've been dropping from their at Southampton and Liverpool was first. But to cut a long story short, I think this game is going to be a draw. This is a game that will finally bring it down, seal the deal for Manchester City.
Mm.
Now, I don't know if Manchester may end up tying against Everton too, but I think they're probably going to beat Everton. But this coming from a loss, although they have their own injury list, and Soleimani is the only one added to the list. Arsenal, on the other hand, adding Zinchenko to the already list, out along with Salah are the main two that may cause a problem in the defense. That imbalance in defense was already caused of old playing team. That the bar for that way against have changed. So that alone. So bringing another man down with Zinchenko out, so you have to bring in two new faces. I think that is going to play a big factor. Brighton, Everton, that was a big blow. I don't come as Biodun stated. That is a way them. They still have a chance to. They know they need to beat us. It's a really, really big tussle of losses, and I think it's going to come down to 2-2 draw.
2-2
Because
draw.
I think
A game that's going to be played in the Emirates.
I don't say that again.
A game that's going to be played in the Emirates. This is an home game for us now.
I know.
At this crucial stage.
It's a home game for us now, crucial for us now. It feels like a home game for Brighton also. So I'm going to say 2-2 game. Both have injury issues. Now I think Aston's injuries are in defense. Bryson is just one out, which is Solly Matthew is the main out. I think he's replaceable, is what I'm trying to say. Not as much.
Well, thank you, Charles. Great analysis. I'm going to call on Ayo, but I'm pretty sure he's going to probably push back on some of the things he said. So, Ayo, go for it.
Yeah, so let me push back on what you said, Charles. So, of the fixtures that I think we had left for the season, that Newcastle game was the one that I was worried about because Newcastle is formidable and Arsenal was on a poor run of form leading up to that game, right? And I was very impressed with the win. And Arsenal is now going back home. That was at St. James's Park. Arsenal is now going back home. And I think really, right, when I've analyzed what we've done over the course of the season, this title really came down. I think I said it to you when we were going to play City. It came down to that game. It came down to that head-to-head. And I think at the moment in this league, Man City and maybe Liverpool are the only teams that are at the level that Arsenal has been playing at this season. And for that reason, I'm not too worried about this game. The Zinchenko injury notwithstanding. I think Tierney is a capable deputy. And I think there will be some tweaks with Xhaka to try, to kind of fill in that gap where Zinchenko is going to be missing. Now, what could happen is, you might recall last season, right, when it was Xhaka and Tierney, Xhaka often actually dropped back into that left fullback / midfield role where we've seen Zinchenko play the season. And then Tierney was pushed high up on the wing. So I don't know if Arteta will resort to doing that or he's going to have Arteta play the Zinchenko role as we've seen him, try to do when he's coming as a software Zinchenko this season. That's one thing to watch out for. Also, a lot of the danger for Brighton comes down on the side where we've, I would say, solidified, right? Kivior has done well in the games he's coming against Chelsea and Newcastle, and we've had, probably one of the best right backs in the league this season in Ben White, coming up face-to-face against Mitoma. So I think in the areas where threats will come in from Brighton, Arsenal is secure, and it's probably a plus for us that Solly March happens to be out at a time when our, first choice fullback in Zinchenko is out. So I would call this an Arsenal win. Yeah.
Okay, Charles, there you have it. I think I'll lean towards Iron, not because I'm an Arsenal fan, but just looking at the recent games, right? Of course, I don't want Arsenal to lose that game. I don't want them to draw. I want them to win. But when I look at that, I think it's a blessing that we have Solly March out. Not that I wish them that injury, but it happened. Plus, they have 2 games in hand, and they need to prepare for the upcoming games. Why would they risk all their, tactics on this single game? They also need to plan for the games, for the remaining games if they want to probably make Europe. I think they're probably still thinking that they can end up 6th or 7th, something like that, make Europa or whatever, competition available in Europe. Now, having said that, when I look at that, just like Harry, I'm not really worried about Zinchenko if he's really injured. But at the same time, don't be surprised if Zinchenko shows up the last 2 games. He's done it before, right? So I won't be really surprised. I've seen that guy, done some crazy stuff. But I think at this point, Tierney can deputize. We'll probably just have to play back 4. And I agree with Ty. I've seen a situation whereby Tierney can push all the way down the wing. The only challenge I have is his crosses. I don't know if he has improved on his crosses. He's delivering to the box. So I think we have a backup in that area, and Xhaka can actually provide that cover in the midfield. Kiwior has really proved okay. So I'm not worried Saliba can have enough rest for the rest of the season and be ready during the preseason. So I think we are good. My only worry is it going to start? Is Brighton going to play Welbeck or is it going to play Ferguson, right? I think the 2 of them are capable players that can give us some challenges. They are also tall and they can give us some good challenge. Now, that Brighton-Everton game, I think I saw something. I don't know if you guys caught that. The Zabi, their manager, tried to do something similar to Arteta and Pep. trying to play like a back three. The formation looked like Casado is going to play on the right back. That wasn't really the truth. He moved back into the midfield, and there was a lot of gaps behind their fullbacks that Everton actually explored through the work rates. Pretty much Everton won that game because they were very, very hardworking. I hope they retain that energy. I hope they've recovered. I hope they take that same spirit and energy to City when they play City. And that might be a very good opportunity for us, right? Maybe to catch up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think De Zerbi kind of maybe miscalculated, was trying to try out some tactics whereby I could play three at the back, compound the midfield, but that didn't work out for Brighton. So now they have games coming back to back. He's going to have to rotate. He's going to have to rotate his team. So Arsenal game is one of it. They're also going to play Man City, I believe. I would prefer that he let us win and he put all his best team against City. I'm talking to De Zerbi. I hope he's listening to me. So give us the way to play City with your very strong team. Get us the result. Let us have the 3 points. But I think it should be an easy game. And I think Arteta should prepare the boys very well. We might not have to play, the same way we've played. But this is a game that we must win. So whatever it takes to win this game, I think we should. We were very disciplined against Newcastle. I expect us to carry on that discipline. When I say discipline, everybody was at alert. Everybody was ready. The defense was really, way better than what we've seen in previous games that we drew, right? So I want that kind of discipline. We need to know when we're attacking and we need to know when we absorb the game and absorb the pressure. So that's something that we really need to do very well. Brighton is going to come out and put pressure on us. They like to play attacking football. So we need to be able to absorb that, dominate, then attack, take our chances, kill the game with early goals. And I think that would be the way to go. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Charles, but that's the way I expect it to go. Hopefully the boys are fit to carry out that plan.
This is what I'll say, just to wrap it up. I think you guys, but I also bit of your fan mind in this. I think you're speaking as Arsenal fans also, because you made a saying this is a game Arsenal needs to win. The last 3 games of the season is a game every team needs. Everybody knows that. Like I said before, Brighton, and we all know Brighton is in form, although they messed up again. Now you made a comment. Also note the old Kai. If he did that and it didn't work against Everton, maybe he's going to go back to their normal formation, normal style of play against Arsenal, and that's a plus for them.
That's a plus. I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with you. Understand the whole thing is a good Zinchenko. All that. There's a reason Zinchenko starts ahead of Tini. This Saliba starts ahead of Odin or Kivio. Mm-hmm. So it is Tini is going to come in, but I don't give you what Zinchenko has given you all season. Just Robert couldn't do what Saliba gave you all season. That shouldn't be ignored. If the manager ignores it,
we know that.
It will be a problem. Exactly.
We know that.
It's
what we have. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So you mentioned Solimatch being missing. If you realize, some games without match, they didn't against Everton, and they had to bring him in to make some changes. They won previously that they performed without match. So I think more prepared for injury than you for the Zinchenko injury. I think that's a factor you may be ignoring.
Okay, let me ask this question to you.
I agree with you.
What does Arsenal really lose without Zinchenko in this game? I think that's the question. What do we lose?
The key change, the key formation tweak that has been done, which happens every wakes up and does something, and everybody is Pep playing an inverted wing, the defender as an midfielder, bring Stone from the to the midfield. Klopp has been doing it with Alexander, doing it with Zinchenko. So that's the key for the difference this season. And as you said, what's his name? De Zerbi to do what you've not practiced. So my point is, if that is the thing that has been picked on moves, and the main man you're using to do it is out. Tini is good enough to replace him. I think that's a factor to be considered. Tini may probably that way. Maybe Arteta is going to play that way and let Tini do information and let Tini just stay back and play what to play. We're going to start that. But all Zinchenko is not something to connect.
Awesome. I noticed your screen is frozen. I don't know if you can hear us. Are you still with us?
I'll be right back.
Okay, all right. So why Ayo is trying to fix his video, Charles? I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at the table again. Like I said, Brighton has 2 games in hand. If they won those 2 games, right, that would take them to that would take Brighton to 61 points, and that will make them 6th position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just a point behind Liverpool. So obviously, Brighton has something to play for, which is Europe, right? We all agreed on that. Now, this same Brighton is playing Newcastle 4 days after the Arsenal game, right? With the situation of things and injury and all that, I would expect De Zerbi to really think about this thing very well. Which game is easier for you? Which game is more important? If you're playing Arsenal this day and you're playing Newcastle 4 days after, right? How would you plan out your team? I don't know. That's his headache. He needs to figure that out, right? Then after Newcastle, and I think he has a game City. So if you look at Brighton, even though he has 2 games in hand, those games are serious games that really need to make sure that he has the squad to execute. I would say let Arsenal game go so that way you have your team recover from the defeats from Everton, because you expensed a lot of energy in time to recover for the Newcastle game. Then you can
sounds like you're cracking a joke.
It's not a joke. I am just being serious. He has games back to back in like 3-4 days. He really needs to look at the squad and see what
they are facing the
like.
Games.
Yes, and he's facing Brighton after the Newcastle. He's facing Southampton after that. Then after Southampton, he's facing Man City, right? Then after Southampton, after City, is facing Aston Villa, that they are also competing for Europe. So he needs to really sit down and say, okay, I have a second place team that is already guaranteed to be second, right? I don't know. That might be a team and it's an away game. I'll probably prioritize my own game. So he should think about that. That's all I'm going to say. I hope he's listening to me. But think about what you have. Think about the games you have in hand and think about which one you should really go after. Because at this point, you need to be sure of the games you can win and the ones you cannot win. You can put all your eggs in one basket. Get 2 or 3 more injuries. Ayo, over to you.
We know De Zerbi. De Zerbi is Charles.
Can you get something real quick, Biodun?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead, Charles.
What you are saying, De Zerbi should do. Told you I was trying to. You were against it. If you
okay,
I'm not trying to drag you. Yeah. My point is his last 4 games are against the top 3 and a team in relegation. So they are all serious games. In my opinion, they are all evenly stand. So you can't prioritize one. Yeah. You take them as they come.
It's so the depth of
as
the
you have said,
what
happens Arsenal's game, you give your all. Whatever happens, sense. If you are depleted to they go 7 game, then you go, but don't start by going 70%. Point is, a good coach, you start high and see what happens from there, which is what
I'm just advising
you said. Like I said, you're cracking a joke.
Yeah, I don't think De Zerbi knows any other way than to go for it. So I don't expect they will play at 70%. I do think they will come up against an Arsenal team that is stronger than they are. Like I said, Caicedo might have a point to prove, but let's see.
Your boy is going to prove.
Yeah, they have tough games. I was thinking maybe they could come up fifth, but I mean they're like Biodun said, they're playing the top 3 teams in the league. It's going to be tough. Yeah. The Southampton game is probably a guaranteed win, but they're also playing Villa. I mean, they have tough games. So Liverpool is pushing strongly, in for that last Champions League spot. If Man U continue their wishy-washy form that they've had of late, they might just give up that 4th spot to Liverpool. Liverpool is just
I started a message, Ayo. You said Liverpool is not going to make top 4. I had that message on WhatsApp. I'll get before.
Yeah. I didn't think it was, but Man U are doing their best to let them in.
And it's funny, Man U has a Chelsea, right? They have Chelsea on the 25th.
Yeah,
that's right? Easy. And the final game is against Fulham. Fulham trying to go for Europe. That's gonna be crazy. That final day game is gonna be crazy, man.
So let's look at the Villa Tottenham game.
All right, did we finish our conversation on the Everton City already?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Let's talk about Everton City before we come back to Villa Tottenham real quick. Right?
We all assume
same analysis.
City's gonna win. That's why.
We all do not. No, we do not.
We all assumed Brighton was going to beat Everton or draw.
Exactly.
I don't think anybody saw Brighton losing that game.
Charles, you were not with us last week, right? We had a guest. We had Donadoni, right? Mm-hmm. And the predictions from Donadoni and Ayo was that Arsenal was going to draw Newcastle. I think you guys said 2-2, right? I wasn't sure. I actually thought we were going to lose. So we won. So again, Everton, Brighton, nobody saw that coming. Everton City, I am just begging Everton. The same way they broke my heart in February when we went to Everton. Please break City's heart. That's all I'm asking. If you can hear me clearly, Sean Dyche, I'm not a fan, but I'm your fan this weekend. Please do all you can do, all it takes to stop City. I know it's a shame asking you to stop City when I couldn't stop City, but you can do it. All right. Ayo, Everton City. Give me your analysis.
All right, Ayo.
I'm coming to you, Charles.
One thing that is, I think that really clicked for Everton against Brighton, and which might work in their favor as they try to stave off relegation, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. They've missed his presence up front, and he's not just the kind of player that can link things up and also get on the end of goals. He's actually also very good on the ball. He's capable of collecting the ball and actually running with the ball, and working with Dwight McNeil and Iwobi. And we saw that to good effect against Brighton. So that's one positive that they have going on. Regardless of how much possession Man City have in this game, DCL will trouble Man City's defense. I don't know if that will be enough to get them a point or maybe even snatch a win, but they can expect a fight from Calvert-Lewin in this game.
Okay. Charles,
what's your?
Let's come back to that.
You know what's funny? I actually I'm going to say my prediction first before I don't really have much to say about that game. I think Everton will upset City. I think Everton will upset City with a draw, not a win. I think coincidentally, as I predicted for us, going to be a draw. So it's a fast. I think that's what's going to happen.
Ayo.
Wait now.
Ayo, we need to check if his predictions has been true for some time. I don't know. I don't remember. So anyway. You can go.
So Ayo mentioned this year, which I was going to talk. Yeah, as Ayo mentioned, has been a game changer. I think a lot of teams tend to try and do the whole night. We're not a lot to do it. Sometimes they try to do it. I'm looking at Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
Striker, we can play and that's up front, but every is a target man, and I think Everton and other teams show it how that man can be. Even Man City leading, regardless of how style of play, there's something good for you. and that's where did Everton this year versus the Everton with this year are like world, in my opinion. But I don't think that's enough to take down City. So I think City is going to beat Everton, but I'm predicting an occur because of Calvert-Lewin. He's old up, as I said, he's good on the ball, and he can deliver. He finishes decent. All that, and also to stats in recent games, finish it in a minute. So to look at, I'm going to predict a goal for this game. So I'm just going to predict 1-1 score, and I think they'll probably concede. So I'm predicting a draw for City's game, a 1-1 draw for City. Everton. Like I said, I predicted a draw for Arsenal Brighton, so it's not going to really be in your favor. Does that make sense?
I mean, that's your opinion. That's your prediction. Ayo, what's your prediction?
It's very tempting to go Charles's way, given that I'm an Arsenal fan and I'm hoping Everton can get something from this game. City is a gold standard in this league. I have to I'm going to play it safe and just give City the 2-1 win in this game.
I won't disagree. I think on paper, and I'll tell you why. I think City should win. I think City can win. I was just, again, it's just an hope, like, wishing for an upset. That's the truth. Why would I think City will win? Of course, the games they've been playing lately, if you look at it very well, I mean, the last game against Real Madrid, there is something that you will notice, and that is the spirit, and that is the confidence that they play with. That, when you play like, forget the current results, we will not lose this game. We're not going to lose this game. That's the way I see them play. So I don't see that changing. I think they're going to play with Everton. No matter how hard Everton fights on that day, they're going to play like, we will beat you guys. We will grind out the results. We will get the goals and we will win. That's the spirit of champions. That is what they've showed us. That is what they will display. But sometimes games go different ways. We'll see fatigue, we'll see mistakes, or we just see people not being able to lift their spirit. Or we'll probably see the manager tweaking too much and creating some challenges, right? For example, some people faulted Guardiola for not playing Alvarez when Haaland couldn't find his way through against Real Madrid, right? So again, manager will do what they like. People will say differently. So we don't know the formation that Guardiola himself will put out against Everton, considering that he has the second leg coming up, that, after the Everton game. So when you look at things like that, maybe that will cause him to make some, paralysis analysis and mess up the whole thing. I don't know, but that will be a gift, and I will take the gift, right? So let's see what happens. Let's see how the players try to play so lightly and feel like, okay, their 70% contribution would deliver a win, but somehow Everton just raced the game, and with the 12th, player, which is the crowd, things happen. We don't know, right? On paper, when you look at the spirit that City has been playing with, it's so much confidence. It's so much, the way that champions play, to say no matter what, we'll get the game, we'll get the goals and win this game. That's my only concern about, Everton not being able to deliver, regardless of whether DCL plays or not. Of course, Iwobi is going to put in a very good performance, work rate, and all that. I expect Onana to be back. I expect Doucouré. I expect these guys to kind of put up fight. Everton is not going to do anything fantastic other than just showing the fight against relegation. Whether that will be able to carry them through, I don't know.
What's your prediction?
I think it might be a 3-1 win for City.
1-1, 2-1, 3-1.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's go.
No one says an Everton win, huh?
I mean, it's a wish, man. Not at this stage of the competition.
You guys need to upset City, and you are giving City the win. You to upset City and I give them the draw. So I don't know what's going on.
Okay, all right, guys. Let's talk about Aston Villa Tottenham. Aston Villa trying to make it up. Tottenham are doing their very best to drop off.
Exactly.
Charles, Aston Villa Tottenham. What should we expect?
What was so funny is trying their best to gonna drop off. I'm not even gonna honestly. So funniest thing is if Conte was still the coach, and I know I would have just coach say Conte is gonna get them through to Europe. But I know who the coach is. I know he's simply a coach. Let's put it that way. The only thing going
Hey,
I was gonna disagree with that.
we thought you could understand to say. The only thing I'm right now is trying to play a contract somewhere else. Trying to sell himself basically because we know this fact is wrapping up next summer. So summer, I'm talking to he's not going to sign a new contract. So Harry Kane is scoring in all the games basically. I think he's going to keep scoring. I think he's going to score. But the thing is, the team as a whole, they've lost it. No fighting spirit. Basically, Spurs, what's going on is the opposite of what's going on in Aston Villa. With the fighting spirit, they know what they need to do. They're giving it their Spurs on the hand are playing like they really don't care. So, just to go straight to the point, Villa win. I don't think Tottenham stands a chance. Oh, and that will be
okay. Ayo, what do you think? These two teams are separated by 3 points.
I will bring up my bias against Emery in saying that Emery doesn't know how to close things out, and I think Villa are actually on a poor run of form, relatively speaking. They've lost their last 2 games. The last loss going to Wolves. And I think Tottenham have found their way back a little bit to be stable towards the end of the season. And I think Tottenham will beat back the push from Emery for the European spot. And I think they will retain their current spot by getting a win against Villa. I think we could see a 3-1 win in this game for Tottenham.
Okay, gentlemen, I think Villa would win. And I think Villa will win because, yes, I agree with you. They've lost the last 2 games. When they lost to Man U, I think it was a hard-fought win for Man U, right?
Yep.
It looks like
could have gone it.
It wasn't a game they should have lost. Let's just say that, right? I think they have to find a way back to the heart of their fans. They've really done well. I mean, they've climbed from whatever position they were, 19th or whatever, when Emery took over, to where they are. I think the motivation for Aston Villa is that win this game, then you probably level, depending on the goal difference, right? Depending on how many goals you win. Because winning this game will put them on the same point as Tottenham. And I think that's the motivation for them to go into this game and win this game. And it's an home game for them. Home, they play much better. And I think they might just beat Tottenham. Tottenham has not been that fantastic, away. So I will give this game to Aston Villa. As a matter of fact, I want to see that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th position not being decided until the final day. So I like the drama that is happening with those teams right there. So I would like to see another juggle, right?
Another shake-up.
Another shake-up right there. So it will be fun to see Aston Villa getting there. And people will be like, okay, who is going to hand off 5th, 6th, 7th? So it will be fun to see. Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. Crystal Palace is doing a very good job so far. As a matter of fact, I think I've said this before. I never liked the way Vieira was sacked. But looking back, I'm like, okay, wow. I can't say anything. It's my mentor, is my hero. I'm just going to keep short. But Crystal Palace, Bournemouth.
Yeah, so Crystal Palace, I feel like this game is a bit, sort of dead in the water because Bournemouth are, for the most part, safe now. They have 39 points, so they're 9 points clear of the relegation places with 3 games to go. So the best those bottom teams, Leicester, Leeds, can do is match their points total. So I think it's a bit of a dead rubber game, and I think both teams might just settle for a draw. I think this is kind of game where it might end a 1-1 or 2-2 draw.
Interesting. Charles, do you agree? You think this might end up in a draw? You think Crystal Palace will?
He said what I wanted to say. I think that game, both of them, and I'm agreeing with the 1-1 draw.
Okay.
Easily.
All right, let's move on. Man United Wolves. Man United Wolves. What do you guys think? Man U hasn't secured that fourth position. What do you guys think?
Yeah, they need to.
Charles.
What are Wolves? Wolves have really been confusing today, step up tomorrow, So, they've been really unpredictable. So it's very hard to call this. But let's act like they're going to act in more games than not. I think I don't think it's going to be easy. 1 win, but I think Man U will find a way to win. Rash Fernandez, the main guys. I think maybe fatigue. I don't know what's going on with them, but to fight for. I also think this game is decided because if they lose this game, the likes of Liverpool and Co are going to creep up. So putting all that together, I think they're going to be able to win. 2-1 win. That's my prediction.
All right.
I see Man U's poor form continuing. And funny enough, the main reason that I'm seeing for them being in a poor run of form is the person who I actually thought would be a problem for them at the start of the season in Lisandro Martinez. He's injured, and they've been playing Luke Shaw as a centre back. Now, while it's not a big detriment, Luke Shaw has done well. I think it just imbalances the way they play. Malacia is very eager as a left back, but I don't think he brings the same calm and control that Luke Shaw does when he plays at left back and they're attacking. And Lisandro Martinez has been so dependable for them at centre back this season. They're also missing Varane, who has been key for them as well. And I think they could struggle against Wolves. They're going to come up against Matheus Cunha and Diego Costa. Wolves will trouble that back line. And I think this might be a draw again or a loss for Man U. They are on a poor run of 2 losses consecutively. Yeah.
I just want to drop something.
Interesting analysis.
I don't know why Man U don't just play the main man. Play their main man and let this whole season go.
Harry Maguire!
You get Harry Maguire. All these putting short center back. Play Harry Maguire. Let's, I think Harry Maguire has something, but I'm also serious. I think Harry Maguire has something to prove. I think the back row. Let's show do what because I'm not a big fan of Malacia at all. So.
Yeah, ETH, if you are listening, this is a big message from Charles to you, Tenag. I hope you're listening. People would like to see Maguire start against Wolves, and is the captain, and I think is capable. So give us Maguire, and let's wrap up this season. Good luck to Liverpool.
If he performs well, we get a good game. If he doesn't, comedy.
I think it's a good news for Liverpool.
Either way, it'll be good.
Exactly. It will be good, right? But I agree with you. I mean, jokes apart, I agree with you, Ayo. Lisandro Martinez out has really, really affected that backline because we all saw it. I mean, Martinez and Varane, good combination. Plus, he allows Luke Shaw to then play on the left. Now, they've got to move Luke Shaw to the middle, who is doing well, but again, to your point, imbalance. Now you bring in Malacia, makes them weaker. Plus, I think fatigue. I mean, other than City, tell me what team has not experienced that fatigue right now. And it goes back to what we all talk about, the depth of the squad, right? City has found a way to rotate. Plus, these are quality players that they've been able to play as many games and still being fit. I mean, City struggled at the beginning of the season. De Bruyne struggled for form. He's come back. It's funny that the time they always come back is towards the end of the season.
So that's why City when people are fading out.
The season, right? The rest of us are struggling to close out the season because that's when we're feeling the fatigue. Of course, Man U has lost 2 games back to. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, right? This is a team trying to hold on to number 4, and you then lost to West Ham, the last time. So if you can beat Wolves this time around, honestly, Liverpool, welcome to Champions
League football.
Quickly, guys, as we wrap up, Southampton, Fulham. Again, I think Southampton is condemned. I think Fulham has a chance. Mitrovic is going to be back. I mean, it's what it is, right? What do you guys think this game? Southampton, Fulham. Quick prediction.
If Mitrovic is back, sorry, Southampton. I mean, Southampton are not good this season at all. Alcaraz is giving them some light, but besides Alcaraz, there's nothing to watch at Southampton. Yes, James Ward-Prowse is there. He might, provide the occasional magic from free kick, but he's not going to keep the team up by himself. Southampton are relegated, and I think this will just be another loss that confirms them. I really like Romeo Lavia, though. I hope we can pick him up for Arsenal, but.
We should have that conversation. I'm not sure I'm sold on him, but it's okay. I think it could come in. Again, I'll take him over Vieira, so I'm just going to say that. Yeah. Charles, scoreline. Southampton, Fulham.
Maybe Fulham is old list. You said Southampton is condemned. You said Southampton is relegated. All these powerful words. The EPL. It's too much. 2-0. Mitrovic is back. Well rested, so I think so I'm saying 2-0 Fulham.
To be honest, Fulham is really playing for nothing. They're not going to make Europe. They're not going to make Europe.
No, they're playing for you. They need to.
Yeah.
I mean, Mitrovic is playing for ego too. To say, oh, you guys banned me. I'm going to. I'm good at. I mean, they're fighting relegation, but are they fighting relegation? Fulham win.
Yeah, I mean they're just enjoying the rest of the season before they go to the championship. So, Brentford, West Ham. Again, West Ham is kind of safe, but they also need this game to continue to be safe. What do you guys think, Charles? Brentford, West Ham.
Very good game. That's the London derby, right?
Yes, it is.
I never thought about this game, and I know West Ham will have a little fatigue and Conference League.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
One is well rested. Ivan Toney is still in form. I think I'll call this a 2-2 draw because I know it's probably going to be goals. Because of their men up. West Ham seems to be. I guess they're waking up. They won today. I know they beat day, but I don't see a winner coming out of the derby and they're gonna keep going. 2-2. I tend to use 2-2 a lot. 2-2 is my favorite prediction.
Default.
Default, yeah, a draw for this game.
Okay, Ayo, your prediction?
Nah, I see West Ham losing this game. Ivan Toney is gonna get some goals, so have him in your FPL. They are going to beat West Ham.
What's calling?
Let me
3-1.
So you took a goal from West Ham and you gave it to Brentford. Okay.
Yes.
Right. It could be. Final game for this weekend that we're looking at. Will this be the game that will condemn Leicester to relegation? Finally, Liverpool needs to keep winning to at least get a shot at Champions League. Would this be the game that will condemn Leicester to relegation? Ayo.
Leicester. So Liverpool are the form team in the EPL. If people didn't realize, they have 5 straight wins. Same with Man City. Yeah, Leicester is going. They're going. They're gone in this game. I don't see any chance, any hope of them beating this Liverpool team. Liverpool have found their mojo back. Yeah, they're out. They will lose.
Okay.
Confirmed.
Charles, could this be a game that will shock everybody again?
2-0.
Like, Liverpool, what is wrong with you again?
Yeah, you see, I form like Ayo said, and I actually think this happens in the games between Saturday and Monday can play a big factor in this game. Big group, Leicester is chasing relegation. I'm going to predict a 3 win. I'll leave it. That can be flipped because Leicester is the form. But recently, if you're watching their games, there's the fighting spirits in there. Being led by Vardy. Vardy, when he just like Madison, and the guy on the left who's also English, whose name is skipping my mind. Number 7.
Harvey Barnes.
Harvey Barnes. Madison, Jamie Vardy. 3 up front. There's something going on in there. Now it's coming at the end of the season. Unfortunately, it may be very late for them. But I think this game can
Let me remind you that those 3 people failed to do that against Fulham on Monday.
I was gonna say
So what I'm saying, I'm showing signs. There's something that means fighting relegation spirits. That's why no relegation, they tend to wake up. And I know Liverpool is in form, but there's still something. They're still Liverpool. They can still be lucky at the back. Now, to wrap it up, I said 3-2 for Liverpool because Liverpool, what's his name? Pep has been doing with Stones, Zinchenko, what's under Arnold. I actually think the best man for the job amongst those 3 players is Trent Alexander-Arnold. When you go around the EPL and talk about some of my favorite, when you talk about the KDBs, the Reece James, Arnold is very realistic for me. He's actually my favorite player. And I think playing him from the defense coming into the midfield, I think that's what has changed Liverpool's season. That came from the coach, probably imitating everybody has been doing. That's right there is a defining factor. And that's why when Ayo, you asked to go, can Liverpool, that was really possible. Because when Trent comes forward, the way he plays, their attack is, and we already know a very, very solid bench. I know Firmino is kind of out or he's not, but they still have Jota. They have this what's the guy's name? Luis. The guy
Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz.
Luis Diaz. They have Gakpo. His name. The run. I'm not really too sold on those 2, but when they play well, they really do play well. So with Diaz, Nunes, Gakpo, talk about the one we know, Mohamed Salah. When those guys click, they're almost unstoppable. Them doing what he does with him. So I think it's going to be a 3-2 to Leicester. Liverpool is still the best, and Leicester, if they do wake up, like I've been saying, signs that they can't score goals. I said that can be flipped. It could be 3-2 to Leicester. Anything can happen. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to give you a 3-2 Liverpool win.
Ayo, did you make your prediction already?
I said 2-0. Liverpool will win 2-0.
Okay. So quickly, I missed 2 games, and I'm just going to go back to those 2 games real quick. Leeds, Newcastle. Newcastle, Leeds. Charles, prediction.
Newcastle Leeds. I think Leeds down. They're done. I think they're going to be relegated. This guy in to save them. Is it too late? Allardyce, Sam. Newcastle Leeds.
I think it's late.
I'm sorry?
I think it's late.
I think it's late also. Newcastle Leeds. This weekend, I expect Newcastle to not only win, I expect them to keep a clean sheet. Really well. Because Leeds has been conceding goals recently, and I think they found their form in front. Now, Newcastle playing Isak and Wilson together. I think they need to learn to just play one at a time. Because why did you?
I laugh because it's funny. You were not with us the last edition before the Arsenal Newcastle game, and that was the question I posed to Ayo and Donadoni. Like, is Eddie Howe going to play Isak and Wilson together, or is he going to play one and rest the other? Donadoni was of the opinion that he will play Wilson because Wilson will be able to hold the ball for the players. Isak might not be able to provide that defensive capability for Eddie Howe as well as holding the ball, do the other play.
Yeah.
Ayo was of the other opinion that Isak will be able to hold the ball and create some challenges for us on that side that Ben White and Kewell might play for. So the two of them were like, it won't start the two. I was like, I think it might start the two, but I wasn't really sure until we found out the lineup that started the two.
Yeah.
And I was glad it did because at that point, starting the two and they could not deliver, you didn't have a choice to bring in Maximin. So it means you use your full dose against us, and your full dose did not work. You had people on the bench, but not as strong as starting Isak and Wilson initially. So I'm glad he did that, and I'm glad that we withstood.
That's what I'm saying. That's not his full dose. Actually, starting Isak and Wilson together is the team.
It does.
I think that weakens the team.
Think about the form that Isak has been. If you look at it from the form that Isak has been,
they are both.
He's on form. Why would you bench a guy that is on form?
No, but that's what you're missing the point. The dilemma is because it's on form. So unfortunately, it's like a man who has 3 legs versus one who has 2 hands and 2 legs. Both still have 4 limbs. One just has 3 legs, and because he has, you think he can run faster. His leg may obstruct the other. You get my point? My point is playing Isak. They are both on form. You just and wake up and decide who are going to play. Basically, do close his eyes and pick one because either one is for the team, but playing both takes away from the strength of the team.
And let's agree that he benched Isak. Who would you have played in replacement of Isak if you had not started the two? So you started Callum Wilson. Who would you?
I mean, there are guys. He has Murphy on the right, on the left. Maximum can play on the. See what bring. Maximum can bring it also. Now, personally, we'll start Isak. So I will start Isak and bring Wilson.
So bench Wilson.
But in my opinion, either way, there's nothing wrong with it. But playing Isak on, it wasn't, and that actually helped. So well, in summary,
again, we can agree, we can disagree. I was actually worried at the beginning of the game because I don't know if you guys remember, he threatened us on that side a lot. It was skillful. We had to contain and settle into the game. He did his tricks.
Do you think he was doing that
up front? He did it.
Do you think you'd have contained him if he was doing that? He can be as beautiful as he wants to be. It's not as effective. And drag.
We played through the middle. That game, Arsenal played through the middle. He needed the strongest person in the center. That's why he played Callum Wilson. We played through the middle. If you watch that game very well, Giorgio controlled that game. We played through the middle.
You were saying
we have weakened him a bit in the middle.
Okay, so you are saying if you were the Newcastle coach, you would have played Isak in the middle?
No, I would not. I would have stopped playing Wilson in the middle because Wilson would disturb us from playing from the middle.
Playing Wilson in the middle is good. Playing Isak in the middle, that's fine too. Playing both, a basic 4-4-2 and play both up front, you're weakening the team. Stretch defense.
Play Isak on the wing.
Yeah, playing Isak on the wing is not it. That's all I'm trying to drive at. You can't stretch your So
Isak is the kind of player that likes to look for space, and when you restrict him to a wing role, you're restricting his movements, right? You're not allowing him to naturally pick holes in your defense like he does naturally. So that's why I said I feared Isak starting in the last game, and when he started both of them, I was like, okay, this is interesting, and I don't know if Isak would be effective, where he had him, which we saw he wasn't really. They threatened those first 15, 20 minutes. They ran us Congo, but part of that is also due to the fact that he's lost Longstaff due to injury, right? So that's what's going on there. He's trying to
I actually
figure
think
out, so he had to move Joelinton back.
But I actually think if you can trust Jacob Murphy on the left and play on the right, or
no, but you need to remember that Jacob Murphy plays for Almiron. He plays in place of Almiron, and that's where Almiron plays. And because of injury, that's why Jacob Murphy for him is also a utility. He could play on either side.
Almiron is back, so he can move Murphy to the left and play Almiron on the right. Almiron on the right, play Maximum on the left. That's options. So playing Isak and Wilson, I from the fans, oh my God, Isak is on form. The problem is if he benches Wilson, he's going to get criticism. Oh, Wilson is on form. So either way, he has to let go of something. But like I said, except his which will be a story and a difference. You have to start a new, they have to, I said, if he's playing basic 4-4-2, backers up front, practice that enough, maybe they can get a result. But if you plays Isak up against Leeds, if you play Isak up front, I think the goals are going to flow. Predicting a 3 for Newcastle
against Leeds. Ayo?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Leeds. The best Leeds can get out of this game is probably a 2-2 draw.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. I would say 2-2 draw. I'm just gonna throw that out there. 2-2 draw.
Last one, real quick. We almost at an hour clock. Chelsea, Nottingham Forest. Chelsea, I'll start with you. Do you see
the best team in the world versus a team fighting relegation?
Give us your prediction.
I don't know why you're laughing, Biodun. Chelsea's the best.
I'm not. I'm just.
My prediction is a 2-0 win. No, Chelsea's gonna concede. So I'll say that defense is not serious.
You see, you made me laugh. I wasn't even
serious.
So
yeah. 1 win for Chelsea. I think it's good. Lampard second win. Lampard is waking up.
Awuni is back. Do you want to give me another prediction?
Yeah, we scored the 1 goal. 2-1 win.
Okay, all right. Ayo?
Chelsea.
I was, what Charles said reminded me of, what they say about Americans. To America, the world is America. So I guess to Chelsea, West London, the little borough right there in West Stamford Bridges is the world. So Chelsea the best team in the world.
Cracks jokes on this forum. You cracking jokes today, now? Interesting.
You made me laugh. I would say Chelsea will win again, though. I think Chelsea will win again.
Like I actually want Chelsea to win all their remaining games. To be honest,
I think Chelsea will win.
That's really what I like. Chelsea.
I would say a 3-1 win against Forest.
Yeah, Chelsea we're rooting for you. We want you to win all your games, and that includes the City game. So please win all your games.
You got this, Chelsea. You got this.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for sticking with me again tonight. It's been a wonderful session. Let's see how the games go, but I think it's going to be a fantastic. Chelsea, Nottingham Forest?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a 3-1. Chelsea.
Good. We're all in agreement. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Modric might finally get a goal. So, yeah.
Amen. Sir.
Oh, yeah. Amen.
Yeah. 105 million, yeah. So
anyway,
gentlemen, thank you for joining. We'll be back next week, and as we wrap up, and our final edition for the season probably be coming up on the 25th. That's when we'll look at the final games. We're probably going to be having more than this, having some invited guests. Please watch out. But thank you. Continue to like, subscribe, and share this session so that we can more people can begin to enjoy what we discuss here. Thank you again. Until next week. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.